Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert here from the Business Awards Show, and I'm also the owner and founder of the Best Business Women Awards. This morning, I am joined by Trusha Lakhani from Great Business Matters, a phenomenal business coach who has won Best Customer Service in the Best Business Women Awards this year and has also won other awards. So we will have a chat with her about those other awards later on. She's been in business for 5 years and is an accomplished business coach and also a finance director. So welcome, Trusha.
Thank you, Debbie.
Lovely to meet you again, because the last time I saw you, you were on stage getting your gold award for best customer service. So well done for that.
Thank you. That was a surprise, a big surprise, and excited. Thank you.
And you also got a silver award for best coach as well this year. So 2 trophies already in the cabinet. Tell us a bit about your business and what you do.
As you said, I've been around now. I started my business 5 years ago. I left a really good finance director job and thought, I want to do this for other small businesses. I come from a small business as from a family business many years ago. So to help other businesses was something that I really enjoyed doing. So I went through a qualification, learned how to coach, because unless you learn how to do your craft, you're never going to be that good. And I already had the financial strategic bit behind me. And so I set up, and I was just working for 5 years. The pandemic hit, as we all know. None of us can ignore that. Yeah. And it changed the way I looked at my business. And in all of that, I was saying to my clients to go for awards, get yourself noticed. And I thought, hang on, Trusha, take your own medicine. So I started, you look for awards, and I wanted quality awards. It wasn't just go to something that you could pay and get published in a magazine. As an accountant, I just don't like paying for stuff either. So it was, and I looked at what most of my clients give me really good feedback. And that's one thing, but is it real? Just being nice to me. So I put myself up for customer service awards, because I think that when I run a business, it's about my clients. It's about the results they're getting, but also how they feel about their business. And so that was my reason for going for the customer service awards.
So what did you start with? Because our awards weren't the first awards that you entered. Where did your awards journey begin?
Well, I started with my comfort zone. I started with a finance award, because I know that I've done that for over 30 years, and I was it was lovely to win the Women's Business Club Women in Finance Award. I've got a glass plaque that doesn't show up there, and that was really that was like, oh my gosh, people actually recognize it, and it's a form of validation as well. And then I decided that 2022 I was going to put myself forward for a few more awards and just test it out. But again, quality awards. So I researched some awards for myself and for my clients. And I also went for the UK Business Awards, which I won another customer award as well. And then I wrote over for 2 of your awards, and I got gold in customer service again, which was fantastic, and the silver as best coach. So it's been a year of awards, and it's different how each award ceremony is and how we're looked after. And I tell everyone about yours. I really do. And that's not just saying it because we're on a podcast. I truly do. But winning awards and putting yourself through the award entries has been it's an eye-opener for me, and it's a reminder as well, because we have to go back in. You ask a lot of tough questions.
We do. So day to day, what do you do with your clients? How's your business structured, and what sort of things do you offer?
Well, what I offer is one-to-one business coaching and my finance director. So essentially, I'm a virtual FD for a few businesses as well. And what I found is that sometimes businesses just need to know their numbers, or especially I especially go with businesses that want high growth or speedy growth, and I can do that. And or coaching their team. So there's a mindset piece that comes in with it as well. So it's just one-to-one coaching and FD work. And how do I work with my clients? It depends on what they need. Sometimes they need me to be the FD. They need someone to call out the numbers and say, where is that number? How does it relate to your financials? Because it's not, your numbers are not just the numbers in your accounts. They're the numbers that flow through your business. And in my head, I often see an audit trail, but it's helping the client see that. And quite often, because I've got the skill sets, no point coaching someone through it when I can hop in, do it for them. So very, very often I'm more the finance director of their business. But on a coaching side, it's usually weekly or sometimes fortnightly, one-to-one coaching. Even before the pandemic, most of my coaching was online. So it wasn't a big shift to move it online. I actually have heard of Zoom before it became the word of 2020, 2021. So, but it was, so we speak weekly, we set tasks, there's accountability, there's tools that sometimes that people need. Sometimes I'm tough, sometimes I'm soft. So making sure the client gets what they need to progress their week. But in my head, I've kept their longer term goals. So if they're going off piste, I check out why they're going off piste. And sometimes it's just a shiny object syndrome. And sometimes they've just seen an opportunity that'll fit with their long-term goals. So it's finding out what those are.
So what sort of challenges are you seeing businesses go through? We've had the pandemic, now we've got the cost of living crisis. How are business coping out there?
The challenges right now for businesses, number one is staff. The availability of staff is tough. Even recruitment businesses are looking for the right people for their clients. And so it's staff retention, staff acquisition. The other thing that businesses are suffering with, and I think it's beginning to bite now, is cash flow. And essentially there's a cash gap of, even if a business is profitable, that cash gap of people not paying on time. That's always been a little bit in the UK and maybe some other countries, but it's just got that little bit tighter as people use other businesses for banks. And that's something somebody I know is doing a lot about, and I hope things have, government policy changes and people make people pay people on time, because it's contractual. And so cash is the big thing. Profitability is being hit because of the supply chain issues, and customers, businesses thinking, how often can I keep passing the cost down? So it's like a little storm, but it's not hitting a particular sector as such. It's all over. So those are the key issues that I'm seeing.
Now, winning an award for customer service is not easy. It's quite hard because we get a lot of entries. So I'm assuming other awards do as well. We get an overwhelming number of entries for best customer service because everyone thinks they're great at customer service. But actually, it takes very special businesses to be even shortlisted in that category, never mind about winning. So have you come across, are you kind of like systematic with your customer service, or have you developed a sort of process, or is it just something that comes naturally to you?
I think you have to work at it. I wish it did come naturally. I'm an accountant. I think like an accountant. So I have to, and I'm not saying accountants aren't good at customer service, but you have to, and sometimes I can become very, as an accountant, very transactional, understanding the process. But what I've found, or what I've learned in business from is, number one, say what you think. Literally, because the other person's probably thinking it too. So what it does is always tackle the elephant in the room, because there always is, when you're having frank conversations with people, it's making sure you say what is there and lay it on the table and open up conversations, or turn it into a safe place for a conversation. And I think that's one thing that helps people. And the other thing is, in what I'm doing, every business is different. So if I had a selected process for every business, I think there's probably is a thread, and I think one of it is, it's saying what I think, it's keeping to my time, it's when I say I'm going to do something, do it. All of those things fit in. On the other side is, I run group 90-day planning sessions. So I always ask for feedback there. I have feedback forms. I ask if I've brought speakers in, get feedback, even the food, anything. I just say, please tell me any little thing. And because what that does, and I openly say, it just helps me get better. I've always had good feedback, but I will always give someone a phone call. And if someone has, for example, if I've missed someone's dietary requirement, I'll try and make sure I don't. But if it happens, then make sure that I don't, or work with that person the next time. So it's always keeping the space open and making it a safe place to have those conversations, I think is for me the most important thing.
Fantastic. And it is hard. I mean, it's hard to please everyone all the time, and we do our best, don't we? But I think you had some really strong testimonials, online reviews, etc., that really helped strengthen your entry for the judges, and that's why they chose you. So what's on the agenda for Great Business Matters in 2023? What's your plans?
2023 is a little more of the same. Now I've got the awards bug, I might go for a couple more. I want to come to another one of your events. So but it's also, in all honesty, for me, I'm looking to buy small businesses. So where somebody might want to retire, and they've got 5 or 10 staff, I'm looking to buy that sort of business, because if that business has been run ethically and somebody wants to leave it, I would like to help run it and do a good job for them, and empower the team. So that's something I enjoy doing. So I've decided, why not go and do it myself? So that's something I'm looking at. And in the meantime, carry on. I'm getting more FD work come through, just because of the financial issues that are hitting, and that just makes sense. So the coaching bit, the mindset bit, people say, look, I'll do mindset once my money's flowing in, which you can understand. So I'm doing a little bit more of that as a balance, so less coaching, more FD.
So if some businesses are listening to this and they're struggling a bit with the whole situation with the cost of living crisis, recovering from the pandemic, and they're feeling a bit, their head is bursting and they just don't know what to do next, what advice would you give somebody who's feeling that their business is a bit of an uphill struggle at the moment?
I'd say speak to the professionals. There are people, speak to me, pick up the phone, I'm sure, but honestly, just pick up the phone to your accountant. If it's your suppliers who are not paying you, if your customers not paying you, pick up the phone, have those conversations. You don't have to tell them your business is struggling, but it doesn't hurt to say, right, let's talk about this, because we have to work together. We have a long-term relationship here. How can we get through this and help each other? Because the other party will probably be feeling the same. And again, as business owners, we all keep ourselves tight, and sometimes it's quite a lonely place. So I'd say, go get a coach. It's easy. It's an easy thing for me to say, but also every business will be working with a good bookkeeper or a good accountant. Speak to them.
And if you don't feel that you've got the right accountant, change to somebody else.
Absolutely. Find people that are supportive of you, because everything is not transactional. There's also everything's about building relationships. A business, you don't set up a business to run it for 3 years. You set up a business because you want to do good in the world in some way. And so therefore you're already thinking long term, even though you're working day to day. So find people who are thinking long term in the same way as you, and build up a collective of people, build up little groups and help each other. But make sure it's not a whinging session, but a growth session. So find the right people.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. And I think for me, I've always surrounded myself with other entrepreneurs through being part of networking groups and mastermind groups. And, that's got me through 25 years next year. I've been in business. Can't quite believe that. Where's that gone? And I mean, to get to 5 years is a massive achievement, because I think the stats are about 98% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So you should be really patting yourself on the back that you got to the 5-year mark, because it is difficult, and we have had a really difficult trading period over the last couple of years, which none of us foresaw that was going to happen. But I think it's about, as well, for me anyway, it's about positivity and a positive mindset. And there's always someone out there that will help you, like you've just said, if you reach out, isn't there?
Yeah, it's about, and it takes courage to reach out. So it does take courage, and there are people who are bottling themselves up. And honestly, if any of you are listening to this, don't. There are people in similar situations. Pick up the phone. The first port of call is your accountant, the citizen advice. There's whole portal. There's universities with their help to grow schemes. So and you can create a community there. So there are amazing things out there, and sometimes when you feel alone, you can't see them, so somebody else will know about them.
Fantastic. So let's end the podcast with a high. How did it feel when your name was called out at the Best Business Women Awards?
In all honesty, I was shocked. It's very hard to keep me quiet, and you managed to do that, Debbie. And yeah, so it was, and it felt like a really long walk to the stage. So like, oh my God, I've won this, and I still feel it, because I was totally honored to win it. And then to get the silver on the best coach, it's like, wow, and I'd come on my own. So next time I'm bringing friends.
Oh, and that's my point. You don't have to come to the award ceremony with anybody. Just bring yourself. And we make a point of sitting anyone who comes on their own together on the table. So you were with the lovely Denise O'Leary, who kindly said that she would host that table, and all the ladies on your table were all on their own. So hopefully you made some nice new contacts as well.
I've made friends. Absolutely, I've made friends, and I sort of silently stalk them, because I just want to see their success too.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you for joining me this morning. We wish you continued success with your business. So thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.